well, Bodywork for more than 20 years, and he's a specialist in female sexuality. And I would like to talk with him about his work and how he came into this work and what his methods and ideas are. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and you're welcome to ask me any questions, and I will try my best to answer everything to the best I can.
All right. Well, let's just start with the history. How did you come into this work? Because I know that you were educated in physics, is that right?
Biophysical science.
Yeah. Later on in business. Yeah.
MBA.
Yes. But then you move on to this area. I'm just wondering how that happened.
My wife is a beauty therapist, and she started a beauty salon.
Mm-hmm.
And so when she started beauty salon, she worked on her own, and she got really busy. So she asked me if I would like to work as a massage therapist, because I have done massages since I was 5 years in Sri Lanka.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to do some courses, and I got my certificates, and then I got my licenses, and I started working in the beauty salon.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how I started the body massages in the beauty salon.
Okay.
And beauty
so
salon
in your wife's salon. And what kind of massage that was?
It's a normal standard body massage. Basically, when I started doing these massages, I found that the reaction from men and women, because we got 5% of men coming into the salon, 95% were women, and we found the reaction from the man and the woman are very opposite. So I was very curious to find out why, what's the reason for this, because I had to then go all over the world to find out the reasons why they behave differently. For example, I felt that during a massage they felt angry sometimes, they felt shame, they felt guilty.
You talk about the women now?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the men, they just take their clothes off, they receive the massage, and beautifully they are happy, or they go to sleep. And and they come back and they didn't have the same reaction. Some women have a body shaking reaction as well, which we now know is called Kundalini awakening. And also we know why they feel shame and guilty, because this is a kind of emotional release that I'm evoking there.
And does it mean that women do have much more emotions than men? Well, when they're touched, or what does it mean? I mean, what?
Yeah. In Tantra, women are called emotional bodies, and men are logical bodies.
Really?
Yeah. So women need to understand the man's logical mind, and the man need to understand woman's emotional mind. Also, I'm not saying women are not logical, because there's a masculine side of a woman that is logical, but I'm just saying on average across the board. So that's why women hold more emotions, and the advantage is that having emotions, if they are positive, they can be multi-orgasmic, any part of the body. They can massage the ear, the neck, or the lips, or the thighs. They can have an orgasm. Whereas a man, find it very difficult to do that. Yeah, with a man you have to address the genitalia, lingam massage to have an orgasm. So this is the plus point of a woman being emotional. But the negative point of a woman being emotional is the negative energies, fear, shame, guilt, sadness. These things will block the positive orgasm. So therefore, with all those negative emotions...
How does that work in the body then? If you feel fear, why does it block your genitals or your orgasmic power? What happens?
Okay, so let's define what an orgasm is and why we need to have an orgasm. Orgasm is a kind of a positive energy, pleasure energy, created in the pelvic basin, and then it's moved upwards through the chakras, 7 chakras, towards your crown and to the whole body. So that's a full body orgasm. Now, what's the purpose of having a full body orgasm? That's the next question. The purpose is positively charged orgasmic energy when it moves to the other part of the body which has negative emotions or illnesses, that can neutralize the negative areas of the body, making you more happy and positive and functional. So that's the purpose of the orgasm. I know a lot of people say that you need an orgasm for procreation. If that is true, then after you have your menopause, your orgasm should stop. But you can have orgasms and ejaculations till you are 90, 100.
As a woman?
Full body orgasms as a woman, yeah. So that theory alone is not correct, because there's a healing benefit from an orgasm for a woman. And if you suppress your sexual energy moving throughout your body, you're basically blocking your own life force, your own self-repairing mechanism, making you more ill and unable to repair your body.
All right.
That's important.
So, and how does it work then, that emotions get released? I mean, What happens in the body? What happens in the cells? What?
Okay, so what happens is, if we say define orgasm is a positive energy, if we say negative emotions are sadness, fear, shame, guilt, as long as you have got so much negative energies in your pelvic basin, there is no room for positive energies to create or move throughout your body, because the negative energies will block it. That's the reason. So the technique is really to get in touch with the client's negative emotions and helping her to remove the negative emotions, making the pelvic basin more positive. And then the positive energy orgasm moves by itself. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to move the energy. It goes by itself. It knows where to go to repair our body.
How does that happen? I mean, does it mean that the cell has a memory, or that the cells know what to do, or the energy knows what to do?
Energy knows what to do. It's like if I spill some water here, and if I tilt the table, water will go from the higher point to the lower point. Energy goes from the higher point to the lower point. So if I create positive energy at a higher level, if the positive energy is lower in another part of the body, just like tilting a table, energy will just flow. You don't even have to do anything about it.
Just runs by itself.
By itself.
Yeah. Right.
Only we block our energy, not to repair our body. Only we have the ability to do that.
And do we do it consciously, or does it happen unconsciously?
Unconsciously, because it happens during the events that has taken place in your lifetime, as a child mainly, or it could happen from your ancestors, your grandmothers and mothers and parents, ancestors. Because when the sperm and the egg get together, there are two genes get together, and two genes have got thousands and thousands of years of cellular memory. So the person, the child doesn't have to have trauma, but if the gene has got trauma from the past, that can actually shut the person down as well in this life.
Really? A reason, for example, that baby get cancer or something? Because they have negative cell memory, or is that your theory? If I understand it right?
Normally I believe that babies will not get cancer unless there is a genetic problem, of course. I believe my theory about cancer cell is because we are born with positive cells, which is loving and ecstasy, orgasmic positive cells, not just in the yoni but in the whole body. And when these energies are subject to various events, shame, fear, guilt, mistrust, social conditioning, religious beliefs, abuse, trauma, all these things. Not even abuse, it could be father leaving the house, so therefore you lost the masculine energetic person. All these things affect your memory, and then it creates abandon, fear, shame, guilt, all these things in the cellular memory. So emotions are covered in the cell, outer surface of the cell as receptors, cell receptors. And the more negative cells you have, the more negative things feeds in from the hypothalamus to these positive cells, making you more negative. That's why some people are, no matter what you do to them, they're always negative. If it's sunny, they're negative. If it's raining, they're negative. If it's snowy, they're raining. Whereas if a person has got a covered with positive emotions in the cell, when it rains, they say, oh, it's beautiful, I love rain, let's go out and play in the rain. Or if it's snowing, let's go and make a snowman, it's beautiful, cold is good, let's cuddle up and have a cuddle in bed, So this is the difference between the positive person and the negative person, and the negative person will continuously become negative and ill and dysfunctional and diseased, and the positive person, nothing will stop him really. He's taken his path, nothing can stop him because he's in a spiritual path and he goes forward with happiness and with content what he has and good health basically.
Really? So if I understand well, these cells do have a memory. Was this measured by science, or is this just a theory from more spiritual realms of reality?
See, when I was massaging, when I was doing as a body massage therapist in the beauty salon in London, when I massage clients, majority of the clients, they love my massage, they recommended other people, and they want to come back. I was the most requested therapist. I massaged 2,400 women in the salon during a short period. I was the most popular therapist in the massage. And at the same time, you had about 10 women complaining about this massage. Now, my massage is full body massage, either with pants on or without pants on, using on the chakras and the body, incorporating lymphatic drainage, which incorporates the groin, the lymph nodes and the breast and so forth, but without touching the nipples. this is the full body because the Wada who pioneered the massage, lymphatic draining massage, he says the fat tissues in the breast and the growth, this has to be massaged. So when I massage these places, it's not the place where I massage. They evoke the emotion anyway in the body, and that was an excuse for them. You see, that was a reason for them to complain. Because if I massage them with fully clothes on, then they get very confused, because why do I feel this way? He didn't even do anything. He massaged over my clothes, you see. So that was not an issue there. So now this, actually I've been to the, once I started having complaints, my wife told me, we discussed, and we said I think I should go for more massage training. So I went to all over the world to learn about women's emotional release. I started with Brandon Bay, journey therapy, learn all about how to release women's emotion. That's where I really learned about the emotional release in the body.
Without touching, I guess.
Touching, that's why I talking. That was an enormous, powerful therapy. But for me, because I'm a massage therapist, I found the results. It says with the journey therapy, you have to wait for 5 years, 10 years for the cells to regenerate with the positive cell or being a man. This is not good for me. I need to see results. I can't wait for 5 years to see what's going to happen, you see. So I went to study Bodywork, really. I studied with Dr. Jack Pate. He passed away a few years ago. He's Lowen's student, and Lowen's studied with William Wright. Okay. So I studied the deep body work and the Yoni healing from him.
Yoni is a vagina,
Yoni
yeah?
is a vagina.
Because not everyone knows that word.
I know. He uses this beautiful Sanskrit word because sometimes the English words are very crude.
Yeah.
And we use this beautiful Sanskrit word because it makes a beautiful meaning.
Okay.
When you say Yoni or Lingam. So
Lingam is a penis, yeah?
Is a penis.
Yeah.
So I learned the deep body work and the Yoni massage from Dr. Jack Paint, and then I started, I still didn't practice the Yoni work with the women. I was just in the body work, even with the knowledge. But what I learned was Brandon Bay, and also I studied NLP with Robert Bay. What I learned was from Robert Bay was to learn a technique that when a client feels uncomfortable during massage, her voice gets shut off. She can't tell me, look, stop the massage, I feel uncomfortable. Okay? So because she can't talk, she can't communicate with me. This lack of communication didn't start during the massage, it started in their childhood. Because she froze when the abuse happened. So that frozenness is still alive. So when the massage is done, what happened is I act as a catalyst, and she to the trauma that she had in the childhood. Because she can't go there on her own, but she can go through me, and then I can help her empower and release those emotions. But at the same time, the danger of this work is that
what do the women project on you? I mean, do
yes,
they get angry with you?
That's called transference.
And do they get involved with you? And how do you react onto that?
That's called transference. Women react to me positively and negatively. Positively, they become sexual, as if they want to go to bed with me, and they become orgasmic, and they become all these positive reactions.
And what should your reaction be as a therapist?
Yeah, I ignore this. I just carry on with my treatment, and I breathe. When this happens, I breathe, because I need to process my emotions so that I can dissolve her emotions through me.
Okay.
So I don't get excited when I breathe. Okay. So of course I'm a man. I'm subject to get excited when a woman becomes sexual. But the technique is, if the therapist breathe deeply, okay, then you don't absorb that excitement into the pelvic area. Because the positive, that energy, your sexual frustration, that's why you get excited, erection. So your sexual frustration melts away with breathing. So as a therapist, I keep breathing when she does it. And then she goes on to her own world, and she does all the body movement, sounds and breathing, everything. And I just focus myself and I just work on it. So that's the positive side. On the negative side, she'll be start bursting into crying, and then she'll be swearing at somebody. And she'll actually have me swearing at me, actually, because I'm the catalyst now, you see. And of course later on, when she comes to her senses, she'll say, oh man, I'm really sorry, did I offend you? You know, I said, no, that's fine, part of the process. She might even hit me sometimes, you know, so I have to protect myself as well, or she might feel shame, might feel guilty of receiving pleasure. So women have so many different emotions, and as a practitioner, this work is absolutely vital for a woman the way I do it. Okay? I don't think any woman can do without this work, the way I do it, and it's absolutely vital because they have no other way of releasing this negative emotion, or maybe I don't know any other ways, maybe other people know other ways, but the only way that I know is through body work.
Well, and it sounds so profound, it sounds so deep, I mean on a deep level. I mean, of course, in normal therapy, people talk and they may cry or may shout or something may happen that they do express their emotions. But this seems so primary, so vital, so essential and basic.
This happens in 3 stages. I look at the body as 3 bodies. Okay, I don't look at slim girls, beautiful girls, models, fat girls, black girls, white girls. I don't look at anything. When I see the body in front of me, I see 3 bodies. And one body is your physical body. And the second body, right behind that, is your emotional body or your energy body, where you have a lot of love inside you see. And then also you will see that a lot of negative emotions in you. I can actually see like a scanner. I can actually see when people walk on the road, I can see like the negative emotion that people carry.
Really? You can?
I can see, and my wife can see that as well, you know. And then behind that emotional body, you have a spiritual body. You see, so with the body work, what you're doing is you are opening the physical body, and then the emotional body, and then the spiritual body.
Right.
So that's the process. You can't do any other way.
And so the spiritual body, does it also carry negativity, or is it always free from negativity?
Okay, yeah. So what I do is when I start the session, first I talk to the client. That is to open the mind. So client really understand what I do, why I do, how I do. She is given the opportunity to ask me questions. Why do you do this? Why do you have to do this? I answer all these questions, and also I offer them if they want. Sometimes they're really scared to be with me on their own. I offer a chaperone. So one of my other clients will come and help to sit down throughout the session. That also offered for the client, or they can work just with me. They all have to sign a 3-page A4 questionnaire, giving all their things and issues, and then giving me consent for the body work that I do. That's a very important part of the work.
Of course, yeah.
And so when I do the talking, it opens the mind. When I open the mind, it gives me permission to touch the body. Okay? Then I do the body work. And when I do the body work, when the body opens, the Yoni opens.
Oh, really?
When the Yoni opens, that's the time I can access the Yoni to heal them spiritually.
So actually by touching the vagina, you will heal a woman spiritually.
Okay.
That's what you
Yeah.
claim. How does it work? I
Okay,
mean,
how it works is, first let's see what the Yoni is like in a close map. So let's take the Yoni out, put it into a map. Yoni has got many buttons.
what are these buttons?
Okay, the day you were born, you have born with positive buttons, pleasure buttons, ecstasy buttons, orgasmic buttons. Okay, if you lived your life in a spiritual way, spiritual lifestyle, you will remain spiritual until you die.
So also orgasmic.
Orgasmic.
So every spiritual
fun,
person
happy.
is orgasmic.
Yeah. Orgasmic doesn't mean to say that you are turned on all the time when you are going road. Orgasm means there's a positive energy, start from the base of your spine and moving throughout your body, healing you.
That's a very different point of view than what regular sexologists
Yes,
or
that's because-
doctors have about orgasm.
Yeah, that's because
Yeah.
you only understand on the sex side. This has nothing to do with sex.
Really?
If you take the sex part out of this context, then you put the spiritual context into it, then you will understand what I'm talking about. This treatment has absolutely very little to do with sex, because imagine if it's sex, by the time I finish, the client will be orgasmic and screaming, okay? But the first few sessions, that's not what the end result is. End result is a woman will ejaculate, okay, and she'll burst into crying or getting angry, and this will go on for half an hour, 1 hour, the body will start shaking and releasing emotions, and when she goes home for 3 days, this will go on as well. So there is no orgasm there at all when a client comes first. Orgasm comes in when the negative emotions go away after a few sessions, okay, then each session gets easier and easier. The first session is very intense. Sometimes people don't come for the second session because they get scared, too intense. But if they have the courage to come for the second session and the third session, each session becomes easier and easier and easier, because what you're doing is you are emptying the negative emotional block from your system. You see? So after so many sessions, you are not releasing negative energies then, because they are mostly gone. Then you begin to experience your positive orgasms and ecstasy and love. So that's really what people will...
and that's an intense feeling, I guess.
Oh,
I mean, it's immense and intense.
Now this orgasm, what I'm talking about, When you ask, let's say, on an average person from a woman, how is your sex life? Yeah, I'm happily married. I've got 2 children, 3 children. My husband, everything is fine. I'm happily married. Then, how's your love life, sex life? Yeah, I have, twice a week sex, and I have an orgasm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you really have a close-up video on this orgasm, if you squeeze your anus muscle and the yoni, one squeeze is a one wave, is a one orgasm. Normal orgasm for a woman is 5 waves. Finish. Okay? So, in a week, okay, they say they've done research, women have 2.3 sex sessions a week, and they have just over 10 minutes, then you have to multiply this. Each wave is a second.
Yes.
So 5 seconds, okay, and multiplied by 2.3, multiplied by 52, you will have 10 minutes of orgasm for the whole year. Okay, and this orgasm, I call this sneeze between the groin.
Really?
Okay.
So we missed something really
yes,
essential.
What you miss is when you get rid of the negative emotions from your system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then these orgasms start moving throughout your body more than 10 minutes each session. So not for 1 year, 10 minutes, but in one session, 10 minutes or more.
Really?
Sometimes my clients go to the car and they can't drive the car because they are in this orgasmic wave, and they phone and tell me, Mal, what am I going to do? Because I am experiencing orgasms, I can't drive the car. So I have to bring them back again, and then I need to relax them. I need to reverse the energy.
Right.
Like if I keep my right hand in the yoni,
yeah,
and the left hand in the head, I'm pushing the energy from one side, yoni to crown. Now I need to reverse that.
Oh, really?
Okay, so I need to keep the right hand on my head and the yoni in the left hand. So I move the energy from the crown to the yoni.
Back to
so therefore, after about 5-10 minutes, her energy balances. So she stops shaking her body, and then she can go home after that.
Well, I mean, how does your wife consider your work? I mean, does she know what you're doing?
Yeah, because it's in the...
And your daughters? Who
my daughters, I got grown-up daughters. One is a doctor, one is a graduate. And both of them know the work because it's in the website, in very detail what I do. And my wife knows, my ex-wife knows, my mother-in-law knows, father-in-law knows, all my cousins know, everybody knows.
I mean, you're from a Sri Lankan background. How is this regarded in your culture to do this kind of work? I mean...
You see, we started this work in Sri Lanka and India and Thailand and so forth, these different countries, but we become westernized now. So these methods are lost now. And I happen to be very, very lucky to go to California and Hawaii and various other places to learn from people who have done this work or who have learned from ancient gurus. One person is Magu Anand. He studied with Osho. I've been working with him for 16 years, and Charles and Caroline Moore, they worked with another guru, Charles. He's the person who actually taught me how to do the yoni massage, female ejaculation. I mean, these people have been doing this for 40 years, and he has produced 25,000 students in the world. So these are masters that I learned from. And my best teachers actually, and Dr. Jack Painter, who taught me the William Reich modalities, they are great teachers, but they were not my real teachers. Where I really learned is from my client, doing one-to-one. Every client was an opportunity for me to learn, who complimented and who guided me what I need to do. And also every client who complained gave me an opportunity to better myself by learning from them as well. So,
what are the dangers in these kind of work? What are the contraindications?
This is very dangerous work. Very dangerous. Why? Imagine that a woman or a man, you are an emotional body and you are a volcano. You have volcanic heat in your body because you've been abused, shame, guilt, mistrust, religious beliefs, cultural beliefs, all this sexual suppression, all these things. And you have got suppressed negative energy in the body which you haven't dealt with in the childhood. When you felt angry, you didn't express your anger. You suppressed your anger, and your anger is there. You see, nobody can make you angry. You make yourself angry by connecting to your anger cells. You see, nobody can make you angry. So you do that because you have anger cells. But if you don't have anger cells, then you can't get angry. You see. So what happens is that when people have the negative emotions in their body, they keep continuously becoming more and more and more negative unless people take the spiritual path and decide to go to healers to remove the negative energies. Therefore they become more positive. But this is, they call in England, Eastern mumbo jumbo, because they have no idea.
No.
Absolutely no idea.
It sounds like magic.
It's a kind of a Eastern mumbo jumbo. That's the word that they tell. They have no idea, and there's no research done on this work, and not many people understand this deep body work.
But you told me someone in the past who did some research in America. What's her name? Or his name? I mean, who did research on the cell memory?
Oh yeah, that's Candice Pert. That's a she.
Yeah.
Dr. Candice Pert is the first person to find the molecules of emotions in our cells.
Really?
In the cell surface.
I mean, scientifically proven.
Scientifically, she proved we have negative cell receptors and positive cell receptors in the cell. Yeah. So we now understand that we have got negative or positive emotions that can build up in the cellular memory.
Right.
Yeah. That's already accepted.
But then it's not mumbo jumbo anymore, is it?
Well, it's not mumbo jumbo anymore. But then you say, I go deeper into healing. Because you can do the body work and talking therapy to release emotions, but I go to the Yoni, where the deepest emotions are held in a small place.
And why do we keep that deep emotions into our genital areas?
This is a question I asked my teachers. Why don't you have this G-spot underarm or neck or somewhere?
Yeah, or in the hair.
Yeah, the answer that I was given is that the pelvic basin is the place, a storehouse for collecting all the negative emotions and physical toxins. So if you eat an apple, you have the toxins there and you pass out, and if you drink apple juice, you have toxins there and you go through the urine, periods go through from there, and the same way the negative emotions also stores in there, and then it has to be released from there. And how it is released is through female ejaculation, and that's how I call this Yoni cry. When the Yoni cry from the female ejaculation, it's very similar to the teardrop that's coming from your eyes.
Yeah, because where is the fluid stored? I mean,
sorry?
Where is this ejaculation fluid stored? I mean, with man, it's clear it's stored in the intestines, but where for
women?
Women
is very different. Women starts with there's a urethral sponge, okay, where the female prostate is surrounded with, okay, and from this urethral sponge, there are ducting to the ureter. So it sucks from the sponge into these tubes, and it goes this liquid into the urethra, and then from there it releases through the pass where you pass urine. Yeah? And that's how the female ejaculation happens. Now the question is, why the urethral sponge? Okay?
Yeah.
Because you might think that like 1 drop, 2 drops, 5 drops, tablespoon. No, glasses. Glasses.
Oh, it's unfair because men, they have only a tablespoon or what?
Women are very lucky. Women are lucky. They have unlimited amount of releases. They can have unlimited orgasms through this emotional release and ejaculation.
But why gynecologists? I mean, I spoke to 2 gynecologists in the Netherlands. And they said, well, actually we don't believe that there exists a G-spot or this kind of urethral sponge. I don't believe that women can ejaculate. I think it's urine that they ejaculate. Why they still ignore this fact? What's the reason that clinical doctors and sexologists ignore it?
The fundamental reason is very simple. All the research is done in the West, not the East. So Western philosophy based on your Western culture and the Western religions. And Yoni, breasts are no-go areas in these cultures. Where I believe most of the issues are held. Love energy, negative energy here, and the sexual energy is here. So the very area that you need to address and heal, the medicals ignore that place. It's a no-go area. Okay? Purely because of the culture and the religion. So they don't put money into research into this one. Until very recently, people thought women were urinating and they were operating the prostate and they were cutting it off, thinking that there's a problem with this woman. One man got a divorce because he complained that woman is ejaculating in the bed, and actually what she was having is she was having an orgasm with an ejaculation and released negative emotion, becoming a beautiful woman and a beautiful mother and a wife. And because of lack of understanding and the ignorance in the West, that he had to divorce her because that was the court case was. Basically, the ignorance is quite a lot that to play into this. I mean, if you go back 500 years, when people believed, they really believed that the world was flat. Okay, world was flat, And when Galileo said no, world is round, he was sent to life in prison. And apology didn't come until 500 years later. So that is the amount of ignorance that we have in the society.
But on the other hand, I read in the book from Deborah Sundell, who is an ejaculation expert in America. She has written that in 1982, I believe, the Board of Anatomic Science has accepted the fact that women do have this sponge and that they can ejaculate. That's hardcore science. You know, they wouldn't have accepted it because of the research done by Professor Xavier. So why is still not that it is taught in medical schools?
Okay, I'll tell you. I mean, even the last century or a couple of centuries ago, GPs used to do a vaginal massage for hysteria. You see, for hysteria, GPs used to go down on the woman and do the vaginal massage. This is one acceptable thing, and that's how they cured hysteria. But what happened was, this is not about a vaginal massage. This is not about ejaculation. None of these things are true in my equation. My equation is the yoni needs to release negative emotions through ejaculation. So ejaculation is not the point, essence of this work. But emotions going into this ejaculation and bringing out to the urethra and then ejaculating with the emotion. That's what the essence is really. That's what the cleansing detox, emotional detox takes place. Otherwise, I mean, if you see the porn videos, DVDs, you can see a woman with a vibrator, they ejaculate happily and there is no problem. Okay, so that's the tap open and the ejaculation takes place, but there is no emotional release there.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's no emotional release.
So, and then go back to the Taoists. That's my last question. Because the Taoists have very different, also Eastern culture, different idea about ejaculation. They see it that man nor women should ejaculate too often because they will lose, especially when they're over 40s, their essential energy.
Say no women or no men?
Man and women.
Okay.
If you do too often, the idea is that you lose essential nutrients, essential energy.
Okay, my theory is different. I believe men need to withhold ejaculation, but not forever. That's an equation. If you are 50 years, if you're 40 years, 5 times 4, if you are 20 years, 5 times 2 is 10. So every 10 days, I'm not really sure of the equation, but I'll have to come back to that. There's a certain number of days that you need to withhold ejaculation, and then after those days you need to ejaculate. Otherwise your prostate gets blocked and you can get prostate cancer. Okay?
Really?
Yeah. So men hold the ejaculation because they don't lose the energy. When they lose the energy, what happens is they release the energy. I mean, each shot of ejaculation for a man, you can populate the entire United Kingdom. That's the amount of energy he lost. And that's why he turns the other way and go to sleep, while the woman hasn't even started yet anything. So it's very important for a man to withhold ejaculation and learn to support the woman by holding ejaculation and then to ejaculate when the right time comes. You know? So for a man it's very healthy. I think both in the Tantric text this is explained very clearly. For a woman it's the opposite to the man. Okay? Because a man ejaculates outwards and the orgasm goes inwards. Okay, so what man does is hold the ejaculation, pull it in, and move the orgasm upwards. Okay, what a woman does is opposite. Woman needs to push the ejaculation outwards, and that has an equal and opposite reaction inwards. So orgasm goes out this way. So woman is very important to ejaculate and orgasm at the same time because orgasmic energy is very powerful and healing for the woman. And because ejaculation water doesn't have any nutrients. I mean, there's nothing there, it's just pure clean water. You can't lose any energy or anything like that, you see.
No? Is it clear?
Just clear water, yeah. I mean, in the mattress, after a few hours, it evaporates and you don't even feel you've done a session there, you see. And so the woman's ejaculation is very, very important for a woman to release negative emotions. Not just ejaculation by itself, but to incorporate with negative emotions is healing.
So this should be a practice that should be applied much more in our society.
This kind of work will be introduced to Britain, NHS, I don't know, another 100, 200 years time, you know, with an apology to people who have done this work. They'll recognize probably we will not be living in that period.
That will be our future.
Well, I think because this is profound healing.
Okay.
Absolutely profound, because I've treated over 3,000 Yoni massages, and I know how powerful this is. And as a practitioner, I don't advertise anywhere. I have a website just for information. I don't optimize the website. And my clients say, when I ask them, how did you find me? They said they go back to front in the search engines.
Yeah.
But they say, if you go to the front, you get all the people who advertise and get clients.
Yeah.
But if you go to the back, are the people who doesn't advertise. They think they're probably good there.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Mel, for explaining about your profound
Thank you very
work.
much.
Thank you.
Very much. Thank you.